Hi guys, I'm Zach, and today we're going to be talking about a Citroen DS5. I decided to do a review on one of these because I find them really interesting, and I find it a different option to maybe your average German rival. And in 2025, they're really good value for money, and I think it's actually quite beautiful. I mean, it's a very nice looking car. It's funky, it's quirky. It's sort of what Citroen stands for. But let's jump into a little bit of history of the DS5. It was launched in 2011 and it was sold all the way up to 2018. But it was designed by Jean-Pierre Plov, but it was based on the concept car C Sport Lounge that was first designed by Frédéric Soubirous. And it was made to compete with, Mercedes C-Classes, BMW 3 Series, Audi A4s, but it never really matched that kind of class of car because one of the main factors was the rear axle on this car is a solid beam torsion bar, and that just really let it down among many things. But it ended up being, instead of competing in that type of category of car like 3 Series and C-Classes and A4s, it ended up competing more on the lines of, Ford Focus, Audi A3, BMW 1 Series, but it was priced more like an Audi A4 and a C-Class. So that's one way where Citroen got it a little bit wrong. But it's a very good looking car, but DS stands for something very important. The first DS was known for it being, innovative. It was a really modern design. It had a hydraulic and gas suspension. If I'm not mistaken, it's called hydraulic stop, high stop pneumatic. High stop pneumatic, I think. I might be wrong there, and Citroen back then was, even by today's standards, the DS is still known for being a really, really, modern, innovative, comfortable car, and Citroen got that wrong on this. But like I say, they're still really good value now. So take it with a pinch of salt. It was priced high, but now they're priced low, so it's good value. The engines you could have on these cars were a 1.6 petrol, which was basically a PSA group engine. It's the same engine that they fitted to the Mini Cooper S as well. And it ranged anywhere from 160 horsepower up to 200 horsepower. And then we also got diesels. You could have a 1.6 diesel engine, which personally I would stay away from. I think it's quite a big, heavy car. I would get the 2 litre. The 2 litre they sold in a range from 160 horsepower all the way up to 180 horsepower. The one I have right behind me is a 2 litre 160 horsepower, which is really potent. It's a really good, reliable engine. These 2 litres HDI engines are really good. And you could also, one really interesting thing is Citroen on the DS5 launched the first hybrid diesel. So it was the first hybrid diesel to go on the market, and it basically was a 2 litre diesel with 160 horsepower, and it had a 37 horsepower electric motor on the rear axle. But one of the interesting things is on the hybrid version, the hybrid diesel, their rear solid beam axle on the rear was changed to a multi-link suspension, so the ride was a little bit better. That was a way for them to accommodate the hybrid system. But they're not very good. They don't have good, people don't really talk great about the hybrid version. So I think for value for money, I would get the 2 litre diesel. And I think it's potent, fast, reliable, and we'll take it for a drive and you guys can sort of get a small feel for what it can do. But some of the things on this car, when you do start looking at the DS5, you do really start to appreciate all the effort and detail that went into this car. So for example, look at these headlights. These headlights have these LED strips running up them, and it just adds so much character. There's so much thought going into everything, like these air vents as well with these scoops. And once you do start looking at it, you do realize how much detail they did put into this car. Like these aluminium strips that run across the top here. which to some people are a bit odd. They look a bit, I used to play hockey, so they look a bit like a hockey stick. This car has 17-inch alloy wheels. This one comes with two 5.5 50R17s, but the wheel design is, you know, very aerodynamic looking. So I really do like the look of this car. The back window, this roof, basically has like this small panoramic boot, which is very reminiscent to a Citroen C4 Coupe, which is a bit strange that they didn't follow it all the way up to the front, but you could get this car with a sunroof. It was basically like 4 independent sunroofs. The rear as well, like these rear exhaust pipes as well. Obviously they're only exhaust molds, and the exhaust pipes are inside it. But very nice looking, very sporty looking. Like these tail lights as well. The design that went into the tail lights, I mean, look how it dips in there. You really do start to appreciate the design that went into this car. Let's move on to the interior. And the interior is very modern looking, and it sort of reminds me of a jet, to be honest, because there's switchgear everywhere, and the steering wheel's got this flat bottom, and you feel very cocooned when you do sit down inside it. This car has a 6-speed manual. You can also get it in automatic, but if you want reliability, get a manual. So switchgear here. This is the controls for the navigation system and radio. These are the switchgear for the windows. The electric handbrakes there. This car has climate control. You get a reversing camera. It's very modern looking inside here. The seats are really comfortable. But look at some of the details, like this is the headrest. The headrest has got this design feature where you can sort of move it around to make it more comfortable. Just small details that really add, you know, some Citroen comfort to it. It's got this old-fashioned clock, which I don't think it's the prettiest thing out there, but I do think it adds a bit of character to this modern interior. This steering wheel as well, you have all the buttons on the steering wheel, but it's a flat bottom steering wheel. It's quite chunky, so it sort of feels quite sporty when you do first get in it, but this car is not sporty. You have some controls here on this side as well, so that's the boot release, the petrol cap release, deactivate the parking sensors, you know, electric mirrors. The door handles I really like because they're made out of solid metal or aluminium. So they do feel really good quality when you do touch it. In general, the whole car feels very well built. Especially for a Citroen, it feels really upmarket. To open the boot, which some people think you can only open it from the key fob, but you can actually open it. There's a button underneath next to the number plate. But you press that button and you open it through there. So boot space is 465 litres, so it's a very big boot for its class. This model doesn't have a spare wheel, so if you do go travelling and get a puncture, you do need the foam. So we've got the Citroen DS5 up on the lift. Let's take a look at its undercarriage. So we'll start with the rear like always and work our way forward. So this is the solid beam axle. And this is what sort of makes the ride feel a little bit cheap, especially on a car that's meant to be a premium model. Like I said earlier, on the hybrid version, the diesel hybrid, you got a multi-link rear axle, which made the ride a little bit better. Brakes, well, here's electric handbrake that's connected to the caliper, but basically it's a single piston caliper. It does enough to stop this car. It's not a sports car, it's just a safe family car. This is the DPF filter. Single piston caliper up front as well. And it's a McPherson suspension. So very average. Front suspension's a good suspension setup. You know, it's not uncommon to see this kind of setup now on cars. But yeah, it's very basic under here. Nothing amazing to see. On the front of this car, we have some budget tyres, Massinis, and on the rear, we have some Michelins. This model also comes with parking sensors, front and rear, and also reversing camera. But yeah, let's take it for a drive and see what you guys think. So, let's take the Citroen DS5 for a spin and see how she drives. Same again, it's always hot here, so air conditioning's on. This car has so you put the key in and you press the button, so it's got a push start button. Seating position and comfort wise, the seats feel very well padded. It sort of feels like I'm sitting on a very comfortable sofa. It doesn't feel like a firm kind of padding, it feels soft. And it's got loads of adjustment. You can go up, you can go down. I think on this type of car, you don't really want to sit too low. Also because the front dash is quite high. So it's sort of, I find, even though I'm 1.83 m or give or take, I find sitting sort of middle position feels comfortable for this style of car. Keep in mind, it's a car you can use every day. It's not a sports car. But let's start off with steering. So steering wheel is quite a big steering wheel. So it would be easier to handle around town because the bigger the steering wheel, the easier it is to turn. So this is a 6-speed manual gearbox. The throw on it's not too long, but it's not short. It's just, I think it suits the car very well. Very easy to change gear. It's a very smooth box. And steering is a little bit vague. It's very soft. You don't really feel too connected to the car, but it is quite comfortable. And that's what this car is meant to be. So we're going to go around these back roads here because there's a few, it's not a perfect road, so I wanted to test the ride quality on this car because everyone says that the ride quality is not up to what Citroen wanted it to be. One of those reasons being the solid rear axle, as we spoke about before. But driving it now, the first minute, I feel quite comfortable. It doesn't make me want to go fast. It makes me just want to cruise at a reasonable pace because it does feel solid and it does feel comfortable. But yeah, steering is definitely quite vague. Would it put me off buying it? No, it wouldn't. It was very well insulated, so there's no road noise at all, and it does feel like a quality product car. On this car we have the 2-litre diesel with 160 horsepower, 163 horsepower to be exact, and there's loads of torque. So I'm in third gear going slow and you just tickle it and it goes. Put it in fourth, just tickle it and it goes. So it's quite an easy car to drive at a decent pace, and I think it suits this style of car also very well. That's why I always like a diesel engine on a sort of family car. If you're not going to get a big petrol engine, I always find if you have the choice of choosing a small petrol engine or a diesel engine, I would always get the diesel engine. They just feel better suited. Obviously, it depends where you live and restrictions. In your city, ULEZ laws or low emission zones. But this car has 165,000 kilometers and it's weared really well. It feels really solid. There's no rattles, there's no creaks. It feels, for a Citroen, it's worn really well. Loads of torque. I think it's quite pleasant. The rear view, there's a few blind spots in the back, because you've got this sort of sunroof boot or moonroof boot, glass boot, there's like this spoiler running through the centre of it, and it sort of throws your eyesight off a little bit. It sort of, you try to look behind, you can still see, but you sort of end up looking at this sort of spoiler. You'll get used to it. It's just a small thing to point out. So, as you can feel, I'm driving through these country roads, and it does feel a little bit bumpy. It sort of lets me down a little bit because the car is very comfortable when you are driving on smooth roads, but when you're out down these country lanes, you do feel, you know, slight judders and movements, and it's a bit annoying. But if you spend most of your time driving on motorway or around city driving, you're not really going to have any complaints, to be honest. It's definitely something that I would just live with. I would just accept, and you just sort of put up with it. But I have to point it out. But yeah, so this 2 litre with 160 horsepower has plenty of torque. It's very powerful. It's not going to win any races, but for a daily car that you can keep up with modern day traffic and still have enough power to overtake, it's nice. It feels very good. It's the type of car that if you had to do a holiday in and travel, you know, at high speeds on the motorway, with your family in it, you'd keep up and feel very comfortable. But it's definitely a nice place to be. Aircon works really well. It's well insulated. There's not much road noise. It's just a car that I would spend many miles in. So my thoughts on this car are, it's not a sporty car, but it's definitely a car I would live with on a daily basis. Day to day, it's just a good solid car. It's reliable. The engines are really strong. It's got enough power. It's going to be frugal, so it'll be very economical to run. Maintenance costs will be low, repair costs will be low as well. But this car has 165,000 kilometers and it drives amazingly. Like, there's no rattles, there's nothing really that's gone wrong on it. And it's solid. It feels like a very nice place to sit. And it's different. Citroen have always built cars with loads of personality. They're always a bit funky, a bit quirky, and I think it's a great talking point. It's always nice to have something that not everyone has, you know. German sedans are everywhere. Yeah, they're great cars. They're really good cars, but it's nice to have something that not everyone has, and that's interesting. You get loads of tech. You get a reliable engine. Car that not everyone has, and you buy it for a very good price. So if you do buy one and go and test drive one, let me know. I'd love to know if you did get one.